welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into a really fascinating personal story. It's about a journey from, well, profound shyness to genuine confidence.
Yeah, and this isn't just one person's anecdote. It's packed with insights, I think, for anyone who's ever felt kind of held back by fear or self-doubt.
So what's the core idea here about shyness itself? What does this account tell us?
Well, what's really interesting is how relatable it is. The source basically argues shyness isn't some fundamental weakness, you know? It's more like a fear of attention.
A fear of attention.
Okay. Yeah, and something you can actually train yourself to overcome. It really digs into that fear of judgment, the whole, what if they laugh? What if I sound stupid? Thing that runs through your head.
We all know that voice.
Exactly. So this deep dive, we're going to unpack some really practical, real-world strategies from this story for building confidence, stuff you can actually use.
Okay, let's dive into that shy phase then. The source gives specific examples like rehearsing answers in your head but never ever raising your hand in class. That really hits home, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. That feeling of having things to say, but it's like there's an invisible wall.
Yeah, or avoiding group discussions in college. Not because you have nothing to add, but just being scared. It paints a pretty vivid picture.
It really does. And that internal self-censorship, it's tied right back to that core fear we mentioned. Fear of attention, fear of judgment.
Seems so common.
It is. It's a really understandable hurdle. Lots of people face it.
So the big question then, what was the turning point? The story mentions giving a short intro in class. Sounds terrifying for someone shy. Shaking, voice cracking.
Exactly, like the nightmare scenario.
Right. So what made that moment different? Why wasn't it just another bad experience? What made it pivotal?
That's the crucial part. It came down to something incredibly simple. Unexpected, maybe?
Okay.
A classmate just gave some straightforward feedback, said something like, you spoke well, you should talk more.
Whoa, just that.
Just that. That little bit of validation, it changed things. The source puts it perfectly. Confidence doesn't arrive in one grand revelation. It's built with small wins.
So that shaky introduction, that was the first win.
That was the critical first win here.
Okay, so that first win opens the door. And this is where it gets really practical, right? The source lays out 3 actionable steps the author took. Things our listeners can try. What's the very first one?
The first step is maybe surprisingly simple. It's speak daily, privately first.
Privately. How does that work?
Well, the author literally started talking to themselves, in the mirror or using voice recordings on their phone. Just like 1 minute per day, what I did today, what I want to do tomorrow, simple stuff.
So it's not about practicing a speech for others.
Not at all, initially. It's just about getting used to the sound of your own voice. Hearing yourself think out loud, we actually suggest, try recording a daily voice message just for yourself. See how it feels.
Interesting. Just normalizing your own voice. Okay, so step 1 is private practice. What's the next layer? Tackling that internal resistance.
Exactly. That leads right into step 2. Change self-talk. And this is huge.
The inner critic again.
Right. It's about actively shifting that internal monologue, moving away from thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'm definitely going to mess this up.
Towards what, though?
Towards more empowering, realistic things like, I'm improving, or, importantly, it's okay to make mistakes. The core idea here is that confidence genuinely starts with how you talk to yourself.
You have to stop being your own bully, essentially.
You really do. And look, we know changing that internal script is easier said than done, right? But this account shows it's absolutely possible.
Okay, makes sense. Private practice, then internal dialogue. What's the final step? Is it finally time for, public speaking?
Actually, no. That's a common misconception. Step 3 is start with small conversations.
Small ones, like what?
Really small. The author started by, say, asking strangers for directions, or just ordering food clearly, even just saying good morning to neighbors.
Okay, so not big pressure situation.
Not at all. It reinforces this key idea from the source. Real confidence is built in daily small moments, not on a stage. It's about those tiny everyday interactions.
Gradually desensitizing yourself to the fear.
Exactly. Little exposures, building up tolerance, and proof that you can do it.
So wrapping this up for our listeners, what's the main takeaway from this deep dive?
I think the core message is really hopeful. This journey shows that moving from shyness to confidence, it's absolutely possible.
Yeah, and it's important to remember, right, that even the author here still gets nervous sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Nerves might still happen, But the difference is they don't let it stop them anymore. You don't need to be the loudest person to be confident.
That's a great point.
And it leaves us with this really powerful, actionable thought straight from the source. You just need to show up daily. Speak, make mistakes, repeat.
Daily. Speak, make mistakes, repeat. I like that.
Yeah. It's not about perfection. It's about resilience. Showing up, learning from the stumbles, and just keeping going. So the question for you listening is, what small step can you take today? Maybe embracing a little imperfection is actually the best way to grow.